you with another review in the form of 7th Gear by Axe and Sledge Supplements. Obviously that's Seth Ferosi, the IFBB Pro, is his brand. So we're going to be getting into all the usual, the taste, price and effects, and letting you know if it's any good. This is their high stimulant pre-workout. They've already got the ignition switch, which is sort of the mid-range daily driver. So let's see if this really does step it up to that 7th gear. We'd massively appreciate it if you would just take 2 seconds to like the video, and if you're new, please subscribe. We bang out reviews at least 2 to 3 times a week. So yeah, thanks guys. Okay, that moves us into the taste and mixability. So we have got the raspberry lemonade, which you could argue is kind of a boring flavour, but I'm going to put up a little clip of me here with my impressions. It was okay, you know, it tasted as it was intended to, nothing fancy, quite a boring flavour, but you know, it got the job done. So we're going to land on a 7 out of 10. Also does come in hard-working motherfucker flavour, which who knows what that tastes like, and a limited edition flavour that's just launched, Pineapple Express. So I'm guessing that's a pineapple flavour. But yeah, 7 out of 10 on the taste and mixability, guys. Moving into that price segment, let's see how much you can pick this up for. So we have got Alpha Fitness Supplements to thank for sending us out this product, so we will be going by them today. So their website is alphafitnesssupplements.net, where you'll find this product for $44.99, but we've got a discount code SG10 for 10% off. That actually knocks it down to $40.49. So, you know, every little helps. That actually works out to be $1.35 per serving, which actually isn't too bad, and that does actually come to a 7 out of 10 on our price scale. So actually that's on the better end of pricing, value for money, when it comes to pre-workouts. Obviously it is worth mentioning that it's a 30 serving tub, so that's a nice thumbs up from us. We like to see that. For UK guys, we're just going to be doing a straight translation for you. That would work out as £33.45, which works out to be £1.12 per serving. So again, really well priced product actually with that discount code, and that would work out as again a 7 out of 10 on our price scale. So not a bad price pre-workout, but let's see what you get for that price, shall we? That's what really matters. Okay guys, let's get through this label, and please do bear in mind this is marketed as an extremely high stim pre-workout. So bear that in mind as I go through this. So it's a 9.8 gram scoop. We've got your usual vitamins up the top. Not going to delve into them because they're pretty self-explanatory. But first up, we've got beta-alanine at 3.2 grams, which is obviously the clinical dose. So that's a good start. That's the ingredient that gives you the itchy, tingly sensation, which we do enjoy for that reason. But why it's actually in here is for the endurance benefits. So when it builds up in your system, it helps to buffer lactic acid, i.e. helping you get more reps, in theory. Then we move into betaine anhydrous at 2 grams, decent dose. You know, I believe that the clinical's 2.5, but you know, 2 grams is definitely enough to get the job done. That's an endurance-based ingredient, so it's going to help with power output, strength, athletic performance, all that good stuff. Then we move into magnesium creatine chelate at 1.5 grams, which is basically just a fancy patented version of creatine, and because it's in that form, 1.5 grams is actually quite a good dose. It's just going to help again with endurance. Then we move into caffeine anhydrous, 350 milligrams, so roughly 3.5 cups of coffee. Obviously that's your main stimulant, going to give you a kick up the arse, get you moving. Sweet spot dose, I'd argue, so nice stuff. Then we move into choline bitartrate, 250 milligrams. That is on the lower side of dosing. We normally like to see at the very least 500 milligrams, but I do believe they've put it at that lower dose because of the next ingredient I'm going to mention, which is alpha GPC at 200 milligrams, which is about 100 milligrams under what we would typically see as the yielded amount. But obviously, like I mentioned, they're obviously pairing that with that choline bitartrate. So again, similar to the choline, actually, it's going to help with focus, you know, cognitive function, staying in the zone while you're training, essentially. Then we move into theocrine as T-crine, 40%, 100 milligrams. Reasonable dose, medium, I'd say. That's a stimulant similar to caffeine. It's going to work alongside the caffeine to sort of smooth it over and give you more focus. Next up is decaffeine malate as Infinergy, 50 milligrams. Normally you yield 70% of that ingredient, so you're looking at next to no caffeine really from that. But the idea of it is, it's the reason it's in here is to help make sure there's no crash. So it's going to kick in later on into the workout and sort of taper down the stimulation. So that's, yeah, not a bad ingredient, just we'd like to see it at a higher dose really. Then we move into black pepper extract at 5 milligrams. Obviously, that's your pretty standard run-of-the-mill absorption ingredients, just going to help the uptake of all the previous ingredients I've mentioned, get them through you as quickly and efficiently as possible. And then rounding this label off, we have toothed club moss, aka huperzine A at 100 micrograms, which is a decent dose, have seen higher, but that's going to help with memory, learning, focus. It's going to pair with the alpha GPC, so very nice. That does round off the whole label. So what I will say is quite obviously they're not going for any pump whatsoever. It's all sort of energy and focus related with a bit in there for endurance. So let's see how it comes together in the gym. Okay, moving into that effect segment. So, is this really 7th gear, or does it feel more like 2nd or 3rd gear? Unfortunately, this did fall short for me. It was a bit of an underwhelming experience, I was sad to say, and I've used this a good 4 or 5 times, and so has Aaron, and we've had similar results every single time. So, where do I start? Obviously, it's got beta-alanine in it of 3.2 grams. You do feel it. I wouldn't say to a crazy level, not even to 3.2 grams would normally feel. It feels more like a 2.5 grammer, so you do get a bit of like heating and itching, but not the normal what you'd expect from a 3.2 gram beta-alanine dose. So beta-alanine isn't on the strong side, so obviously if you don't like beta-alanine, then you know you'll probably be okay with this, but if you do like that itchy sensation that gears you up for the gym, no pun intended, then perhaps there are better ones on the market if beta-alanine is your jam. So pumps aren't really a factor with this pre-workout. Let's just get that out of the way with early on. There's not even marketing to get your pumps. It literally just says here extreme high stim pre-workout. So, you know, it's got one goal in mind, and that is to stim you off your tits, which I'm afraid it really doesn't do. I mean, it's only got caffeine in here and T-cream as the 2 real stimulants. The other bits and pieces are just nootropics. So no, it's not a high stim pre-workout. Maybe it is if you're an absolute newbie, beginners to pre-workout. Maybe this would be considered high stim for you, which is what I'd recommend this for really, is beginners and possibly intermediates, or people that just want to support Sephirosi. But for stim junkies, steer way clear. It's not gonna do what it promises essentially. I mean, it's okay. Don't get me wrong. It's a mid-range energy. Focus is okay, you know, it's just okay is the best way to explain this. It's quite an underwhelming experience with what you expect to get from it. But don't get me wrong, you don't get a bad training session on it. I felt the energy was, you get a bit of energy rush, obviously, from the caffeine. I just felt it was a bit of a dead kind of energy, you didn't really feel too dialed in or energized from it. It was a weird feeling, and I've had other pre-workouts that have got about the similar amount of caffeine with T-cream. Like one I've reviewed recently was Kraken, and I actually felt really good on that one. So I don't understand it. I really don't. Consistently average every time. That's literally the best way to explain it, guys. An average, underwhelming, okay pre-workout with no real negative effects. So yeah, that's our impressions on 7th gear, guys. So we're going to give it an average score, bang in the middle, on a 5 out of 10. You know, that it's okay. Okay, let's wrap up these scores on the doors then, shall we, guys? So first up, we have the taste segment, which we landed on a 7 out of 10. You know, it was respectable. It was definitely doable. It was not amazing, but, you know, it's a pre-workout. Who really cares too much? And it mixed okay. So 7 out of 10 on the taste. Then we move into the price, which also got a 7 out of 10. So actually quite a well-priced pre-workout with that discount code. So, you know, there's no complaints on that front. Then we move into the effects section, where unfortunately it did fall short. It didn't live up to the name. It didn't translate into the best training. We landed on a 5 out of 10. You know, it's just average pre-workout. It was okay. You know, there's nothing crazy with it. That does actually give us a total score of 19 out of 30, which, you know, isn't the best. It done okay in the taste and price, but in the segment that matters most, which is effects, it did fall short and get that bang on average score. So I can recommend it because it's priced well. I can recommend it to beginners and possibly intermediates, or if you're just someone that loves Sephirosi and you want to support him, fair enough, go ahead. But like I said, stim junkies, no go. Are there more productive pre-workouts out there that translate into better training? Absolutely, and for you know, the same sort of price or better even. So take that with what you will, guys. That is our impressions on 7th gear. Just want to say at this point, a massive thanks for checking in for this review, guys. We really do appreciate all of your ongoing support, especially in these times where we're all locked down, no one can train. So it does mean a lot to us that you're checking in to support our content and, you know, check out all of our reviews. So let us know your thoughts on this product down in the comments. Have you tried it? Do you want to try it? Do you like Sephirosi? We personally are massive fans of him. Just want to put that out there. So obviously, hopefully he doesn't take this as any hard feelings if he sees this. We really do actually rate his other products. You know, we loved Hydraulic. We've still got Ignition Switch to review. But this one, it didn't hit home for us. So guys, as always, stay stimmed. But maybe not on this one.
There's only 2 people that are allowed to call me Dad, 1 that's allowed to call me Daddy.
Everything you do, I can't seem to get enough. You got me